Welcome to the Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson. I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. Does having a low self-esteem increase your anxiety? This is something that is mostly not talked about or ever introduced to people whenever they're dealing with anxiety. Is most of us, whenever we're dealing with anxiety, we are given tools, like, for example, grounding techniques, or we're trying to do a focus exercise, or breathing techniques, or acceptance, which are great tools. They really are, and they help you to calm down. But the problem is that you are still experiencing and dealing with anxiety, and we're not able to not have anxiety, meaning whenever we need to go somewhere, for example, and someone's afraid of going to that place or do something, we right away say, okay, we need to use our tools in this situation so that we can feel better. Well, we need to get to a point where we don't need to even think about using tools so that we can just go to that place like we used to and not experience anxiety. That's what we want. We don't want to continuously need to have tools and to use them in order for us to feel better. We just want to feel better in general. And a lot of us, including me, I remember whenever I was dealing with it and I was getting help for my anxiety with my social worker that was finally able to, that one person that was able to understand what I was experiencing, he gave me the tools. But after a while, I said to myself, okay, but I don't want to use them anymore. I want to get to the point where I no longer need them. I want to get to the point where I feel much better, and that's in general, so that I don't need any of these things. And that's where my realization came and my epiphany came. It was like, whoa, okay, so that means there's something else that needs to be done. And I thought that maybe I need to heal my past, and I was already doing that, but it wasn't helping me. It wasn't helping me to feel less anxious. Yes, of course, that it was helping to control it and, of course, to feel much better and look at things differently. But regardless, I still had anxiety right now. I still was dealing with anxiety, and I wanted this thing to completely go away. And what I stumbled upon was that whenever I was developing my self-esteem, I realized, I'm like, whoa, I feel less anxious. I feel much better. When I was developing my self-confidence, which is the difference between self-esteem and self-confidence, is two different things, but they connect in a way, but they're two different things. Whenever I was developing them, I felt much better. And I'll tell you why self-esteem can increase your anxiety. For example, someone with a low self-esteem, right? They don't think, let's say, for example, that they're attractive enough. So they try to do certain things so that they look good, so that other people would approve of them. Or we might, for example, care what other people think of us. We might say oh, they're definitely thinking negatively about me, or they're definitely looking about what I'm wearing, or how I'm dressed, or how I'm looking today, or what I said, or whatever it is. We right away focus on that, and that puts pressure on us whenever we are always trying to get that approval. So, for example, let's say somebody has a hard time saying no to people, right? Someone asks them for a favor, but they have a hard time saying no because they want to please the other person. And deep down, they just don't have the energy. They're tired. They're exhausted. But the person asks them, hey, can you help me out with this? And they automatically say yes because they want that person to like them. What that does, it gets them angry inside. We're angry inside when that happens. And we hold this anger in there, and that creates more anxiety because I don't want to do this. And we're fighting with ourselves inside. We are fighting with ourselves inside saying, I don't want to do this, but at the same time, I don't want to disappoint them because I don't want them to think of me, differently, or they might get angry with me, or they might like me anymore. So that puts pressure on us and we use more energy. So another way that self-esteem can affect us, and this is a big one for a lot of us, is that always trying to be perfect, always trying to look perfect, be perfect, act perfectly, do everything perfectly, and that puts a ton of pressure on us. It puts a tremendous amount because to achieve perfection is literally impossible. We can't achieve perfection. And there was maybe once or twice that we did, and we get addicted to that feeling. We get addicted like, wow, that feels really good. I actually achieved it. That means I'm worthy. So what happens is that we get into this cycle is trying to achieve that perfection again. But the problem with that is that
It's impossible to do that all the time because we're not perfect. Nobody is. Humans aren't perfect. We just aren't. And that's okay. It's okay not to be perfect. But that's something we need to understand and be okay with. So the self-esteem, whenever we don't have a high self-esteem, we're trying to be perfect in order to achieve that worthiness, in order for us to feel much better. And also beforehand, I spoke about this, about caring what other people think about us. That makes us worried. And I always say that the reason why we developed an anxiety disorder is because of stress, worry, and pressure. So as you see that the self-esteem, when we have a low self-esteem, it can make us worried because we're worried about other people thinking about us, or we're worried about how we're going to look. And it puts pressure on us by always needing to be perfect or act perfectly. And the way it puts stress is that we don't believe that we're worthy enough, that we don't believe that we'll be accepted by other people. So it always stresses us out to make sure that that person is going to be okay with us, to make sure that person's going to like us, to make sure that everything is going to be fine. So you see how the self-esteem is has such a big impact, because your sympathetic nervous system, and I always talk about this, needs to heal. It needs to reheal in order for us to feel much better, because right now it's haywired. It is overloaded. And it needs a way to calm itself down. Again, self-esteem is one of the ways. We also need to rewire our amygdala as well, so that it stops sending signals, so that, again, our sympathetic nervous system can reheal itself. So the self-esteem is so crucial. It's so important. And every single person that I interact with that developed an anxiety disorder, I ask them this question. I always ask them to test to see where their self-esteem is that, what are some good things about you? And whenever they sit there and they're thinking about it, they always tell me there is nothing. I don't see anything good about me. But there is. There is amazing things about you. You were never aware of them. You were never shown them, because all your life you have been shown the negativity and been told you are like this in a negative way, that you are not smart enough, or that you look ridiculous, or you are stupid. Whatever it is, all these negative thoughts, all these negative statements that people have told us had made us believe that the fact that this is the way it is. It made us believe that this is the way we are. But the truth is, the real truth is that you're not stupid. You are not slow. You don't look ridiculous. Making mistakes doesn't mean that you are not capable. It just means you didn't know, and if you knew, you wouldn't make that mistake. And you can apply it for the next time whenever it does happen, so you don't make a mistake. I don't believe anybody is actually stupid, because I believe that every person has something that they excel at. That is the thing. I remember Albert Einstein said this, and it's a famous quote. You can't judge a fish by climbing up a tree. It's impossible. Same thing with you. You may not be good with numbers, but you may be good with something else. Every single person has the unique thing that they actually excel at. And I can guarantee that if they apply themselves to a situation that they don't excel at, they're not naturally good at, I guarantee that they would actually excel. Like for me, for example, in high school, I was not a good student in high school. I used to get C's in high school. But whenever college came, I started to get B's and A's. Why? Well, I said, what is the difference? The difference was that I actually applied myself. I had to break my head to try to understand what was going on. But in the end, I actually succeeded. Also, whenever me and my brother went into business, I remember first time we created this product that in the beginning, I remember there was some legal issues, and I told my brother, I'm like, no, this is too much. Like, I don't know if I'm stepping on somebody else's pattern over here. I don't know. I don't want to get sued, this and that. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, I'm good. I'm not capable in doing this. That's what I told him. I'm not capable in doing this. He's like, no, let's push ourselves, and let's see what happens. And we did. And guess what? We actually overcame that hurdle. Again, of course, the business didn't succeed. Thankfully, it didn't. I learned a lot from it, but it didn't succeed. But at the end of the day, it pushed me and made me realize, like, hey, if I apply myself, just like I did in college, just like I did with high school and college, if I apply myself, I can actually succeed in things. So I changed my narrative. And I can guarantee there's something about you that you may think that you're not good at, but I can guarantee if you apply on it, you eventually will succeed. You might fail a few times, but eventually you will get there. But whenever we have our self-esteem is shot, we are not able to do that. We're not able to actually put in that effort and to see if we'll succeed or not, because we are afraid if we're going to fail or not. We are afraid of the outcome of whatever it's going to be. But we need to change the narrative. We need to start working on our self-esteem so that we can try things and do things and work on ourselves so that we can feel much better. And also, on top of that, to take off the pressure, the stress, and the worry from our sympathetic nervous system so that it can actually heal itself, so that we can actually feel much better. And we no longer need to use the tools for anxiety so that we can go places and do things naturally, just like we did. Because that's what I do today. Already for over 9 years, I no longer need to use the tools or techniques or anything like that in order for me to go places and do things.
If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks. And as well, it doesn't make you feel drowsy. It doesn't make you feel sleepy. And it helps you to just feel calm so you can actually do things throughout the day, like work, drive, go out, and do whatever you like in a more calmer state of mind. As well as not addictive or has any side effects or any withdrawals, which this way can actually help you to heal your anxiety and get you to the destination in overcoming your anxiety much quicker. You can click the link that's in the description. It would say Calmly CBD to place your order today. And then right now it's on sale for a limited time where you can buy one and get the second one free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people, and the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.